you have the roadmap. Here it is. Here is how Tesla is going to get to all-time highs. You're going to want to let me know whether I've got this right or not. Number one, interest rate drop by over 100 basis points thus far, and expected to drop by at least another 75 to 100 basis points during 2024 will increase battery electric vehicle sales, all car sales actually, but especially BEV sales in 2024. So 2.2 to 2.4 million vehicles might be too low. Right now, people are estimating next year between 2.2 and 2.4. I think now 2.4 is the more likely bottom, and it might even be higher than 2.4. This will reverse the results that we've just experienced as interest rates increased at the fastest rate in history. Now, as they decrease at the fastest rate in history, this will just benefit Tesla in the same way that we saw the unfortunate reduction in difficulty in moving metal last year. Tesla needs to hit 1.8 million in 2024 and project at least 2.2 million to get to the all-time high. If Tesla projects, if their guidance is only at 2.1 million, I think we might get stuck at 350, at least for the first quarter of next year, until we see what the trajectory looks like. All right, number two, the interest rate drop increases the value of the company just by reason of changing the discount amount used to calculate current value based on future profits. Future decreases next year will continue to have that impact, but even the anticipation of those decreases will do so and help the stock valuation. This is also a reversal of what we've seen happening over the past 18 months. So the last 18 months, we've seen Tesla's value drop for these very reasons. Number three, interest rate drop will drastically reduce the likelihood of price cuts, thus increasing likely profit margins substantially. This is another reversal of last year. So if the interest rates cause more demand, interest rate drop causes more demand. More demand means you don't have to drop prices. You may even be able to raise prices. Number four, better economic conditions and lower interest rates will allow financially conservative Elon Musk to be more aggressive on increasing production at existing factories and getting shovels in the ground on new locations. May I repeat number four? Elon Musk was very conservative last year. He wasn't pushing as hard as he possibly could, adding shifts, adding lines, putting shovels in the ground. These better economic conditions should change his mindset, his point of view with regard to the economy, and cause him to be much more aggressive as he has been in the past. Number five, the market will become more risk on, raising all stock prices, but especially growth stocks. The risk on, risk off mentality is a major part of what drives market valuations. And everybody is now talking, not everybody, but a number of people are now saying we've made that switch into a risk-on environment. Number six, the energy storage business will become chartable as it becomes a relevant contributor to earnings. This is going to happen between now and January 20th, whenever the date is of the earnings call in January. We'll see that the earnings are now substantial enough that they will now be something that the economists and the pundits will have to take into consideration in valuing Tesla. Number seven, there will be enough production of Cybertruck by the end of January to give some positive attention to the ramp. Moreover, the early reviews will continue to be amazing. So amazing, the mainstream media will have to respond. They have not paid any attention to the Cybertruck except throwing brickbats at it. Of course, they won't hurt. You can throw as many brickbats as, okay. Even if they don't cover it, the reality will sink in the terms of the investing public. They'll get it. And the reservation increases will be another sign. We'll see reservation increases, we'll see the take rate, and we'll see the what the reviews are looking like. Number eight, one piece of icing on the cake would be if the Optimus production or another Optimus video showing real work. Optimus production, showing a production line, showing actual Optimus is being produced, and or Optimus showing real work. Number 9, another piece of icing on the cake would be the V12. This will probably happen. The version 12 FSD general release and then it needs to have outstanding reviews. You need to have a bunch of people saying, oh my gosh, this changes everything. Number 10, also an icing on the cake would be the Model 3, which I believe will be introduced, or at least a date will be given between now and the end of January when the Model 3 in the the 3 Plus in the US will be out. So let me know again in the comments, did I miss something? Is this too optimistic? There's probably another couple of things that I didn't take into consideration. So this is Randy Kirk, by the way. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. If you would like a deep dive into the guts of the new Cybertruck, that's what's coming up around noon today. Larry Goldberg found somebody who really understands the automotive manufacturing process, and he's going to take us part by part through the vehicle as seen in Austin, and I think you'll really like it if you love that kind of stuff. Larry Goldberg will also be here this afternoon to help us celebrate the week. What a great week it's been. And then tomorrow morning, I've got a show up that you do not want to miss. Tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, I'll be giving you my analysis of what the new overall market narrative is going to be with these interest rate cuts, etc. It is a must watch. Oh, by the way, I want to ask you a question. Would you buy this shirt if I had it for 40 bucks? What if I bought a bunch of these? Would you buy it? Let me know in the comments below. 40 bucks, would that be good? Okay, let me know. All right. So, and of course, that reminds me, good orders still coming in. You still have plenty of time. Get your order in now. Great gift box, unbelievably cool thing, 25 bucks. Now's the time to order. All right. Gary Black was saying yesterday afternoon on X, and that's, by the way, you have to do it at Gary Black 00, not the letter, but the number 00. That's the official Gary Black shot. He says, this is important, listen to this carefully. Tesla is at 250 now and trades at 58 times his 2024 adjusted EPS of $4.30. I think that's extremely low. I think it's going to be way closer to $6. Now, is that expensive or cheap? 58 times. I think it's cheap relative to the 28% volume growth and 32% EPS growth between now and 2030. Expected growth rates based on his analysis, I think it'll be higher. He says, I expect global EV adoption to grow from 13% currently to 60% by 2030. Of course, I think it'll be much higher. With Cybertruck and Tesla and the $25,000 next-gen vehicle, I expect Tesla to grow its global EV share from 16% currently to 20% by 2030. That translates to Tesla volumes increasing from 1.8 million in 2023 to 2.4 million in 2024, which I think is a good number, and to 10.2 million by 2030. He's at about half of what Elon says they'll be, but that would still be huge, all right? 10 million, all right? With GM expansion, energy's contribution, general margin expansion, I think he means, operating leverage and cash reinvestment, I forecast Tesla's adjusted EPS to grow from $3.20, to $22 in 2030. That would be a 32% CAGR. This includes nothing for FSD licensing, nothing for robotaxi or bot, but does include FSD at the 15% global take rate, and energy going up 8 times what it is today. So the question becomes, is 58 too expensive for the best-in-class EV player growing volumes at 20% CAGR? Find me another mega cap with that type growth and valuation. With the legacy OEMs all scaling back their EV investments, Tesla is increasingly the only investable EV play. I thought that was great. Finally, a major news source has covered Optimus Generation 2. Bloomberg puts the article behind a paywall. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, a paywall so deep that even if you're an Apple subscriber, when you would normally get the Bloomberg information, you can't see this article. What is going on here? Now, if you consider the Daily Mail to be a major news source, they did an article that was a neutral take. They didn't look at anything about the opportunity. They didn't look at anything about the TAM. They didn't look at anything about the fact that this, if true, would be the largest product in the history of the world. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, add to that surprising news, content that The Hill published today. They published a Liz Peek commentary this morning with this headline: Biden's alarming harassment of Elon Musk. And then the subtitle, so to speak, would be, even as President Biden accuses Donald Trump of threatening our democracy, he's employing agencies of the federal government to harass and punish Elon Musk, whom he seems to consider a political opponent. Why? Because the mercurial entrepreneur had the temerity to criticize Biden and champion free speech. Whoa, okay, it broadens out. I mean, The Hill, it's kind of a neutral, okay, mostly liberal, but more neutral than most. New York Fed President John Williams on Friday appeared to temper expectations about the near-term future of monetary policy in his interview with CNBC. We aren't really talking about rate cuts right now, Williams told CNBC's Steve Leisman in an interview. Well, you know, they didn't want us to go running out crazy. All right, well, you know how much I love Jeremy Siegle. And he's out this morning with these statements about housing in the markets. And when you listen to this, I think you'll just know that Jeremy Siegle gets up every day and watches this channel. Anyway, here's what he says. I would imagine we could have a rise in housing prices of 4 to 5% in 2024, Siegle said, likely because he expects interest rates to fall, reducing mortgage rates and freeing up cash to spend on homes. I think also that we will have 5 or 6 rate cuts, Siegle said, about looking at the outlook for next year, basing his prediction on inflation slowing and commodity prices dropping in recent months. His comments suggest the Feds could lower its benchmark rate from upwards of 5.25% to below 4% in under a year. Yep, it could very well happen. Siegle also expressed surprise at how the American economy has kept growing solidly despite the Fed's hikes, and said this could mean it escapes a recession entirely. The indications for a soft landing are certainly increasing, and I would say the odds are now that is going to be true for 2024. Siegle, the author of Stocks for the Long Run, is frequently bullish on stock market's prospects, but his optimistic outlook for this year proved prophetic. I know, and mine too. Anyway, the benchmark S&P 500 index has rallied 23% this year to trade at 4,720 as of Thursday's close, just 2% below its all-time intraday high of 4,819 in January. Its gains were driven by the Magnificent Seven this year, a group of big tech stocks that includes Tesla and NVIDIA. But Siegle predicted the market would see a reversal in 2024 with value and small stocks rising by 10 to 15% to outperform the large growth stocks. He's got to be listening to the channel, right? Anyway, where are stocks now? Let's take a look. Let me pull it up. Let me see what we've got going on here. Tesla is down $1.31 as we speak, and it has been doing this so far this morning around that number. It tried to get into the green, almost got there, bounced back down, and now is bouncing back towards the green. The NASDAQ has been flat at up 42 points. The Dow Jones is down, and it's been extremely flat, also at down 62 points, and the S&P similar at down 458. You can call that almost exactly neutral. The Mag 7, on the other hand, they're barely in the green except for Apple and Tesla, and now Tesla is moving towards the green again rapidly, as is Apple. Okay, we'll look at the Mag 7. The Mag 7, we look at the Cathie Wood stocks. Those are down barely, just all down slightly. Okay, you know what this is looking like to me again? It looks like another setup. It looks like another day when everything is going to head towards green, and I think that's what we're going to see. We might even see it before we end this video. We'll come back and take Tesla continues up, headed toward the green as I speak. Okay, now let's take a look at the rest of the numbers. Maybe some of these will give us an indication of why we're seeing what we're seeing. All right, let's start with those bonds. The bonds are down almost, the 10 years down almost another basis point at 3.922, but that's 20 basis points. 20 basis points above where the low was yesterday. It got down to in the low high 3.7. And then let's look at the 2 months are up. The 3 months are up. Everything right up to the 5-year is up at least slightly. The 5-year is not up very much. 7 years unchanged, and the 10-year is, as I just mentioned, down 0.006, 0.6 of a basis point. So in general, where do I think that's going to go today? I think, yeah, I think that we'll see profit taking, and we'll have people that will cover their positions in the bond market. I don't see much action right now. I think we're where we're going to be for a minute, but eventually these shorter term rates, as I've mentioned over and over again, these shorter term rates are going to come crashing down, and there's going to be a lot of money made. This is not investment advice. There's going to be a lot of money made buying some of these shorter terms, especially the 2-year, the 1-year, even the 3-year. I think that's where the next bunch of money is going to be made. Yeah, okay, let's go on to oil. Oil prices are on track. They're now down again. There's a lot of information out there about oil that I'll talk about probably tomorrow in that conversation. Natural gas is up just a little, a lot, actually quite a lot, up 4% this morning. So that is now, there's maybe a bottom has been put in on natural gas because it was dropping like crazy all week. Gold is up $3.20. I would call that very flat for gold right now. It's been so volatile. And copper is down almost about 0.5%. And again, copper is trading kind of in the middle of its range for the last 5 years. There's not been a huge move in copper one way or the other. We've got the dollar going to end up being off badly for the week, badly for the month. But it was very high, and so this is not shocking. Bitcoin is down 740 this morning at 42.2, and the Dow is down 42 at this point, which is 0.12%. The S&P is down 8, which is 0.17%, and the Nasdaq futures are up. 55. So that's improving. And that is up 0.33%. Okay, as always, let's go back and see if Tesla has moved any since we last looked at it. Nope, now it's continuing to do this. So now back down to $1.56 in the negative, no longer pursuing the green. I don't know. I still think at the end of the week, people are going to want to be in the market. And I think they're going to want to be in Tesla. We'll see. Anyway, I've been right all this week. I could have an off day. Okay. Anyway, I'm still saying 300 by the end of the month. I think it's totally possible. I saw one particular guy on X today say be 300 by the end of today. I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, all right. So we have more to talk about here. You want to go back. You want to check out my video with Larry Goldberg yesterday. This was an outstanding video if you want to understand very, very clearly what the Fed chairman was saying, even though he's probably wrong as usual with regard to his projections about the economy. I think that you still want to know what is Larry thinking. I mean, not Larry. I want to know what Larry's thinking. I want to know what Fed Chairman Powell is thinking. And how he's making some of his decisions. There's a lot of insightful stuff in what Larry and I talked about yesterday. I will put that card right here. And then, of course, we want to end today. Again, let me know if you would pay $40 for this shirt. Maybe would you pay 45? Would you pay 50? Anyway, I think I could probably get these at a cost where I could put them out there for $40. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. And then we have got this, okay? Absolutely amazing. The numbers that I've sold in the last 3 months, just phenomenal. Thank you so much for participating, helping the channel. Lots and lots of orders still coming in. They're going to take 3 days to get to you in almost every case. If you're only buying one, it's probably going to take between 2 to 5 days, depending on which coast. If you're close to California, it's going to take 2 to 3 days. If you're on the other coast, it's going to take 5 to 6 days. So think about that as you make your plans, because Christmas is only 10 days away and you've only really got 9 USPS days left So no, eight USPS days. So for the East Coast folks, you need to place your order by probably if it ships out on Monday, you're probably okay, but maybe not. Maybe today is the last day that you can place your order if you're on the East Coast. But if you're in the Midwest or West Coast, you can probably place it on Monday. But now is the time to act. $25 for one, $45 for two, $65 for three, $90 for four, $110 for five, $210 for 10, and $400 for 20. Place your order. Oh, if you're on the East Coast and you're going to be ordering 10 or more, no problem. You could order that on Monday or Tuesday. I ship those direct from the factory. All right, that's all. Oh, well, yeah, let's take a look. Let's see if that Tesla thing has turned around yet again. Yes, it has. It is just continuing to do this, headed for the green right now. I think so. I think it's all going to be in the green by the end of the day. The news was way too good for folks not to want to be pulling money off the sides and putting it into Tesla and other great stocks. It has been great talking to you.